Yo. What up?
What it do?
What it do, homie? Give a second for everybody to jump in here.
Which one of these buttons does this do? Where's the fucking thing at? Come here. Almost paradise.
Jesus.
Is this even fucking plugged in? Am I fucking high right now? What the fuck? Ah.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the greatest wrestling podcast in the universe. This is the Oversell podcast. I'm your man, Suplex City. I'm here with my man, One Shot. We are ready to talk all things WWE, what's been going on this week, what we got coming up soon. We got a lot coming up. We're 2 weeks out from Backlash. And we got our man, Scythe X. CC, what's going on?
Yo.
How's everybody doing? Thanks for joining us.
CC in the building.
CC's in the house. What's going on? So we're just talking. We're just doing the intro here. We are 2 weeks out from Backlash. So we've got we're gonna be doing another watch party for Backlash as we've been doing for all the premium live events. So that should be a lot of fun. Keep a lookout for that. But this card is starting to shape up into something a little bit weird. Like
A little bit.
It's a very odd direction. Very odd direction that this card is going in. We got raided. Thank you for the raid there, buddy. I appreciate it.
Who rated us?
I did. Hello, that's me.
So I want to dive into this card a little bit and see what you guys think about some of these matchups.
Lay it on us.
All right, so SmackDown Women's Championship. For some reason, we have Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega.
That don't make sense at all.
I'm assuming it's stemming from like the LWO Judgment Day feud that they have going on, and they finally have a female in another faction that can go up against her. But is
not in her class though.
Yeah, is anybody excited to see Zelina Vega versus Rhea Ripley?
No.
Like, is there a more one-sided matchup for a championship that you guys can possibly think of?
They're gonna make it seem like a close fight, and it's gonna bother me because it shouldn't be. It's gonna bother me.
Yeah, I agree with that. What do you think there, big dog?
It's gonna be a shit match. I mean, that's all there is to it.
I mean, Zelina could work in the ring, but I mean, it's just so one-sided.
There's so much on this card that doesn't make sense.
This card has Vince McMahon written all over it. That's what this card has.
Yeah.
We're getting. This is a possibility of Shinsuke Nakamura versus Karrion Kross, which
Shinsuke wins it.
I mean, yeah, Shinsuke's got to win.
He has to.
But Shinsuke returned kind of lackluster because they didn't really make a thing out of it. They're just
they announced his return. There's no surprise factor to it.
Yeah, it made no sense. Like, I know a lot of people knew that he was coming back because the loan for him out in All Japan was over because of he was doing that last run with the Great Muta to finish off his career and induct him into the Hall of Fame and do all that stuff. But you know, like people knew he was coming back, but they made no attempt to make it special in any way whatsoever.
I was not sent here. Yeah, yes, you were. I did it. Yes, you were.
Well, thanks for joining us anyway, Melissa. We appreciate it. What do you think what they're doing with Shinsuke? Do you think that they can give him a push?
They're going to push him.
I mean, they're gone. Yeah,
that's the big rumors. They're trying to push him as hard as they did Roman.
I just hope it makes sense. If they make it make sense, I'll be on board. But I mean,
if Triple H is behind it, yeah. But if it's Vince, it's not going to make any fucking.
If they just shoehorn him into some random matchup, I'm going to hate it.
Well, let me ask you this, because I know we don't have the captain with us to yell about accents, but this is one of the ones that I actually agree with him on, because it's not that Shinsuke has an accent, it's that he barely speaks English.
Yeah.
So can he get over without being able to do promos?
Give him an advocate.
He needs an advocate, right?
You need one. Yeah.
You got Heyman tied up with the bloodline still.
That's a question. Who would be a good advocate that's not Paul Heyman?
You know, for a while, Sammy was his advocate, and that didn't really work over too well.
Give him the Miz.
The Miz? Ooh. I mean, listen, the Miz is talented on the mic.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Listen, the Miz is talented on the mic. I don't see him being an advocate for anybody, though, because
he's a fucking jobber right now, dude. Give the Miz something good.
Listen, I agree with that, but his character is built around him being the most selfish person on the planet.
I like him as a manager or advocate. I think that could work. Maybe not for Shinsuke, but I think it could work for someone. I think
I think it could work for Shinsuke. It'd be a funny dynamic between them.
I think I think it's too much of a, because for him to be an advocate, he kind of has to be like a suck up a little bit, and his persona is the exact opposite.
He's a manager.
Not necessarily.
If he's the manager doing the talking, then he can just be himself. If he's like an advocate, then he's like, you know, the right hand man type person speaking for him all the time. I don't know. Where like Paul Heyman like worships the people that he advocates for, where I feel like Miz could just be himself if he's just like the manager.
See, but I feel like Shinsuke needs a guy like Heyman that's gonna put him up on the pedestal as like the baddest dude in the planet. Like really sell that Japanese strong style, be like, dude, this guy could literally kick your head off your shoulders type of shit, you know.
Yeah, I don't think he needs somebody like Paul Heyman.
Hulk Hogan.
I don't think you need like a Paul Heyman type for Shinsuke. That would just Shinsuke is not that Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns type.
But you could turn him into that.
Maybe I don't know.
Well, because of his style in the ring, being like that strike first, strike hard style, you know. I think you could make an argument to make him that dominant, like in the ring.
Maybe for the Intercontinental division.
But it's not going to be
him going up against Roman in a feud at some point.
I don't know.
But he needs to have somebody speaking for him. That's the problem.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Intercontinental would be more his lane.
Him versus Gunther?
Yeah.
It's not a terrible idea. But him being in a feud with Karrion Kross right now, I think is just weird. Like
it's just a match to have a match.
Yeah, like I don't think they know what to do with Karrion Kross right now either. So he's just kind of jumping from. He had cut a promo about like he took Ray's mask, but they never even finished that storyline. Ray went right from that into the calm down shit. So like they never actually finished the Karrion Kross storyline with Ray. So I don't know what the fuck Karrion Kross is talking about.
To be continued.
Yeah, like it just makes no sense. Like we're supposed to forget that like you guys never finished that entire thing. I don't know.
So let's get to the Seth Rollins match.
Before we do that, I was going to save that for a little later on in the card.
All right.
Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. I have a feeling by next week that gets changed to Bailey. Somehow.
I think it goes to Bailey.
In some fuckery.
Have we ever been? We haven't seen her lately, right?
Hasn't Bailey been going through a bunch of shit though? Like,
well, her contract's almost up, so the people are talking about that she's gonna leave, which is the big rumor as to why they gave the spot to Io. But she's still showing up with Io every week with Damage Control. So if Bailey re-signs, I think they finagle a way to have her turn on Io maybe in some way, shape, or form, or whatever the fuck. But I mean, I don't want to see Bianca versus Io Sky anyway. So it's just like, is that really a matchup? Like, these women's matches are terrible on this card.
Yeah, it don't make sense.
No. We have Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny versus Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest.
Bad Bunny.
I mean, listen, it's in Puerto Rico, so you're going to give a big nod to Damian Priest.
You're going to have a gimmick.
Yeah, you're going to have a gimmick match. Bad Bunny.
It'll still be a good match, though.
Yeah, I mean, Bad Bunny's been working with the company long enough.
Yeah, and you don't look terrible in the ring.
Even if Bad Bunny did shit, you're still going to get something good out of Ray and Damian or Priest.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And
Your
then
mic's not out, in and out, by the way, unless that's just on my end.
No, I'm hearing it too.
Okay.
I don't know why.
You sound better there.
Wow, 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 wow.
wow. Yo.
Then we go to Steve's favorite match of the night, which is going to be Omos versus Seth freaking Rollins. Now, just so everybody's aware, none of these matches are confirmed. This is the supposed card for the week for that weekend, but they are subject to change. So,
I mean, did you see the tweet from Seth where he was?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's just none of this makes any sense. Make it make sense, Vince. Make it make sense.
You can't.
Omos versus Rollins. Does that mean that Omos gets over by beating Rollins? Is that really where we're heading with this? The most over guy in the company is going to get beat by the Nigerian giant that no one wants to see?
I don't know, man. Almost matches just don't excite me.
They're horrible.
I don't know what I expect from it. Like, other than Seth Rollins winning and just, continuing to be over. But I just, unless they're like preparing to make a really big push for Omos, I don't see how he wins this fight and like continues his like grand story of nothing. Like, I just don't see it.
The only person I'd ever want to see wrestle Omos is fucking the Giant, Paul White.
Big Show?
Yeah,
the Big Show.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him versus Brock. It was a fucking boring ass match,
Yeah.
And now we're gonna see him versus Seth. I don't know if Seth can make him look good. Like, he's just too big to manipulate in the ring. So it's like
the size fucking disparity in
I
there.
feel like Drew
that's what I'm
McIntyre
saying.
would be more his lane too.
Gunther.
I mean, at this point, just put him up against fucking Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, it's just this is just
and Rey Mysterio somehow wins.
I mean, Rey Mysterio had that whole storyline of being the Giant Killer.
That is true.
Oh, I
So
hate
it would make more sense for fucking Rey to do it.
That was my favorite Rey Mysterio too.
Dude, I
Giant Killer
Rey Mysterio was a bad motherfucker.
Yes, he was. So I mean, like, listen, I think they're in a weird place with Seth at this point because I don't think they know what to do with him because he's so over, but you can't have him go up against Roman because he's done it 1,000 fucking times, right? They've had the longest rivalry on the card that we've seen yet, right? So where do you put him? You have the titles tied up with Roman
in a tag team with Johnny Gargano.
I see. I like that idea.
I want
like
it. After the fucking after the last fucking pay-per-view.
Who?
I want.
Who do you want with Gargano?
Rollins.
Oh, Rollins. Yeah.
When they were in the fucking elimination chamber together.
Yeah, it was amazing.
They were fucking chemistry.
It was the
with
two of them in the cage, right? Just beating on
Yeah.
Theory.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite part of the match.
And then they had that spot where they were both sitting on top of the cage together, on top of the pod together, and they just started laughing at each other, and then they just started beating the hell out of each other.
Yep.
The great spot. Like they're really well.
work.
They work well together. I can see that
definitely work.
working. The only thing that puts a monkey wrench into that for me is when Tommaso comes back, because I really want them to reunite for DIY and go on a tag run on the main card. Because I think that's a really good spot for both of them. They were a great tag team together.
Yeah, but I want something new.
Yeah,
something fresh.
Well, we're not getting anything fresh for a long time, pal. Roman's staying the champion. Which brings us, speaking of Roman, here we go. We got the bloodline.
Where the hell's he been?
He's not gonna. He's taking a break. He's gonna be off TV for a while.
He's had a break this whole road to WrestleMania. He hasn't done shit.
We got the Usos and Solo versus KO, Sami Zayn, and Riddle. And boy, has the addition of Riddle, the return of Riddle, has pumped new blood back into this storyline.
Yeah, it's a nice addition. And the added benefit of a built-in storyline with him against Solo all the time, because Solo put him on the shelf for a while. It's awesome.
I mean, how long before Solo turns on the bloodline, though?
I don't know if that's the way they're going with this, dude. Like, honestly,
I don't think so.
Like,
if anything, it's the Usos breaking away and Solo staying.
I think it's going to be Solo.
I mean, you might be right, but right now, this storyline is taking so many twists and turns on us.
Bitch, I'm usually right. Just saying.
This man's secretly emailing Vince, telling him what to do.
I'm going creative. Fuck you.
It's just like, we got to sell more t-shirts, Steve. What do we do here?
Steve is Endeavor. It was him all along.
That's my bad.
What do we think for that, though? We think in my opinion, the Bloodline's got to lose because it continues the storyline of the Bloodline collapsing.
Here's where I'm going to. Here's where the monkey wrench is. They're going to go to Saudi, where they try to defend every title, and Sammy and Kevin can't go to Saudi. So how can they defend the titles?
That's a valid point.
That is a very valid point, but it also doesn't mean that they have to lose them to the Usos.
Who else are they going to lose them to right now?
Because this isn't a title match at Backlash.
I know, but who else is going to? Who are they going to drop the titles to?
Well, that's going to be coming up in our next segment when we talk about the draft. Because I got a funny feeling something's going to happen with the draft, and that's how they're going to split the titles all up.
Well, how long is the next segment?
Well, we're almost done. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar.
I think Cody will win.
Brock wins.
He's got to win. Cody has to win.
He doesn't have to.
He's got to keep building
absolutely
his
has to win
resume to get another title shot.
They're going to break his character down until he snaps, and you get a new version of Cody that is going to be raw. That way, he faces Roman at WrestleMania next year, and it's just savage.
I think you could do that without him losing, though. Like, to win, he's got to beat Brock.
Even though he did beat Solo last night.
Yeah.
In a live event.
That's what I'm saying. But I think he's got to turn into Savage Cody to beat Brock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he's got to stay Savage Cody to beat Roman eventually.
Yeah.
I think he goes Savage Cody after Brock beats him again.
So now, after WrestleMania, a lot of changes happened for the future, right? Because for like the next few months, they moved dates on stuff. They changed pay-per-views. So originally, Saudi was not supposed to be Night of Champions. It was supposed to be King and Queen of the Ring. Mm-hmm. They changed it to Night of Champions. The draft was supposed to start the Monday after Backlash.
Mm-hmm.
It is now starting the Friday before,
Which is what, this
The
Friday?
week before.
This Friday coming up.
The draft
Yeah.
starts the 28th. Backlash isn't until May 6th. So originally the draft was supposed to start on May 8th, the Monday after.
So they're gonna have Backlash after the whole roster gets shuffled.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm
Kind of
assuming
interesting.
the matches are already going to be set for Backlash. So realistically, if they do the draft, right, the week before Backlash, then they do Backlash, everything would reset on the Monday night after. Like the draft would go into effect in the Monday night after because there really wouldn't be much on TV before Backlash anyway, after they're done with the draft.
Right.
There would be one SmackDown, but you can figure out something for that. So I don't think the drafts are really going to affect Backlash that much. I think it's going to affect Night of Champions more.
Yeah. I can see that.
What are you guys' predictions for the draft? We got anything now? Now it was very specific that every single superstar across the board is in the draft. That includes NXT. That includes UK. So
I just feel like you're just going to have everyone split. Like every team, every faction, they're going to have people scattered all over. But for me, they're going to make it a big deal when it really isn't a big deal. And you're going to see them all together on both shows. Like they're just going to go to both shows, like how Bloodline does. You see them on Raw, you see them on SmackDown. They're just going to show up no matter where their current contract is.
Bloodline was able to do that because they held both belts. They
held
the titles. They held the Raw and SmackDown. They held the Smack,
But even the Usos not having the belt, they're still showing up on both shows, either to attack Sammy or whatever. They're still showing up in full force with Heyman and Solo. So I don't know. I feel like it doesn't matter where like the big factions go individually. They're still going to be able to run as a group. I think maybe shuffling the Raw roster and sending them to SmackDown is going to shake things up in a more grander scale.
So big rumors are this is how they're going to split the belts. Is that Raw is going to draft Roman first overall, get him onto Raw, and the SmackDown title is going to stay at SmackDown.
So they're not. So that wouldn't make
sense. Why would they do that?
That's the rumor. Still have that's to lose the rumor I'm hearing. He doesn't have to lose it. He can vacate.
They're just gonna tell him, "Hey, drop your title."
Yeah,
I don't see that.
I don't like.
I mean, I don't see the point in it either. But they do have to figure out something for these titles,
especially when they're this close to the 1,000 mark.
So one of the big problems is, but he would still hit the 1,000 mark,
not as a unified champion.
But it's not for the 1,000 mark isn't for the unified championship.
I thought it was.
No, it's for the WWE championship.
Oh,
the world heavyweight championship, rather.
Which is a Raw title.
Which is the Raw title, yeah. So one of the things that I've seen is that USA has it in their contract that they need a heavyweight champion on Raw.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Roman's going to Raw. The Usos could wind up staying at SmackDown. And that might be
is Raw even going to stay on USA at this point? Now that Endeavor,
there's a lot of talks between different companies.
Yeah,
I mean there is, but their contract isn't up for a couple more years, right?
I don't know.
I think it's coming up soon because they're in a lot
soon.
of talks with the different networks right now.
Yeah,
your mic is going crazy.
They're in a lot of talk. They're in a lot of talks with different networks already because I feel like that contract, like Steve was saying, is up soon.
I don't know when the USA contract is up, but I know when they first signed it, when they signed back to USA, when they left whatever Sci-Fi or TNA or wherever they were at, they signed for a very long deal. So I don't know when
I think they're going to get dropped from Peacock as well.
Well, I don't know what happens with their streaming service because They had their own. They added it into Peacock instead. They shut down the WWE network. So I don't know what ends up happening with all
Well, I
that.
mean, there was
There's a
also
lot of
rumor
talk
that
of-
Endeavor wants them to go to buying pay-per-views again.
Yeah, they want to do live pay-per-views, and there's also talks of having like Raw and maybe SmackDown. SmackDown may still be on Fox because of contracts or whatever, but I think a big talking point with Raw is going to ESPN.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of weird to put it on ESPN.
how do you figure? Because ESPN's like the only sports network that actually like talks about wrestling and actually has wrestling talks and interviews, and they work very well hand in hand with each other in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but Endeavor already has a deal with Fox.
But they also have a deal with the UFC, I thought, with the ESPN Plus and stuff like that.
Oh, that's true. That is true. Maybe the WWE network goes over to ESPN Plus. That's a possibility.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do. I don't know about Raw. Again, like that's all contractual shit like that they're gonna have to work out in the next few months.
Mhm.
But for
Like,
the draft,
we don't need to see reruns of 30 for 30s. You know, if they want to have Raw, then I think that would slide in nicely instead of watching a rerun of Sports Center.
yeah,
That's
I mean, like
3 hours long about yesterday's topics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see it happening. I just don't know. They've had such a long-standing relationship with USA. I don't know how they break that off. You know. Plus, every time that they've ever gone to a different network other than USA, their ratings have dropped for Raw. So I don't know. I mean, Endeavor's they're pretty good about like leaving shit alone.
Yeah.
You know,
But now that UFC and WWE are all one company, they might have both companies on one network.
So from what I'm understanding, the way this is working is they're just leaving Vince in charge of UFC. In WWE, and leaving Dana in charge of UFC. And you guys know what you're doing. We're gonna sit over here and count our money. Like that's basically, from all reports that I've seen about how Endeavor operates, that's how they're gonna operate with this. They'll give them backup when they need backup, but other than that, they're pretty much staying hands off. That's what they did with the UFC anyway. They basically just let Dana run the show, and he knows what he's doing. Just let him keep doing it. That was why they begged Vince to stay, apparently, according to them. So, but the draft, you guys don't think anything big comes out of it?
I think Cody goes to SmackDown.
I
think Cody goes to SmackDown. Who else? I could see Brock on SmackDown because he's always been Raw.
I think Cody stays on Raw because Roman's going to Raw.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think Roman stays on Raw, and they split Solo and put him on SmackDown.
Brock's been the one that's always had
Raw.
No, he's always had an independent contract. He can go wherever he wants. That was his whole thing.
You always see him on Raw, though.
No, his whole thing was he can go wherever he wants because he's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
You know.
But if this is the shakeup of the draft of all drafts,
I think the shakeup has more to do with they split up the Street Profits. Montez goes on a single run.
Would they move Bianca to SmackDown and have the Raw title go with her? They would have to keep like the title holders that are in their respective shows are probably not moving, right?
Yeah, but then what do you do with Roman and what do you do with Sammy and KO?
The unified stuff is a different animal. I'm talking specifically
that's
Gunther.
Gunther's not a Raw or SmackDown title. He's just the Intercontinental, so you can go to either one.
But they usually break up like have
you're gonna have to
obviously on the other.
Obviously, if Raw takes Gunther, then SmackDown's gonna wind up taking Austin Theory.
Right, that's what I mean.
Right.
So would they allow Bianca to move over, even having the Raw title, or do you think they're just going to keep her in Raw?
They're just going to keep her on Raw because then Raw would have to take Rhea with the SmackDown title.
Yeah,
so it would just kind of defeat the purpose of them being called Raw and SmackDown titles at that point.
Exactly. That's what makes it strange, which is why I'm asking.
Now, my question is, they made a big point about saying that everybody's available in the draft. So does that mean NXT can draft?
I don't know. Let's find out.
NXT pulling the main roster people, or can the NXT roster?
Well, we know that they
enter
can
the
pull up
draft?
NXT. They know they can pull up NXT to the main draft, but can NXT draft?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is the question.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That would be
Reports-
strange. I don't know.
Reports previously indicated that up to 8 NXT stars can be called up to Raw and SmackDown via the WWE Draft of 2023.
So 8 in total.
8
8 in
NXT.
total.
Your boy
Okay.
Braun Breaker's coming, huh?
Fucking about time.
I don't know. Is he?
I don't know.
I mean,
but
all
I
the
feel-
all
I-
that
I feel-
all
I
the
feel like
controversy surrounding his fucking family. Is he coming up?
I don't know, man.
Carmine's been talking about Braun Breaker for like 2 years. So
Listen, I see talent. I know talent when I see it, sir. Guy should have been up on the main roster a while ago. I'd assume they just dropped the title to Carmelo Hayes, so I'm assuming he's staying because usually the guy that gets the title dropped to him stays. Braun comes up, probably Grayson Waller. I'm assuming they bring up a ton of females and probably a couple of tag teams. Because the female division severely needs an influx of capable women wrestlers because they do not have them right now. You got Becky tied up in a feud with Trish Stratus for some fucking reason.
yeah.
You got Bianca and Rhea as the champs, who arguably are the best in the business right now. Charlotte just got beat. Sasha left the company.
Here
Bayley
are
doesn't-
here
Whatever.
are planned the reveal or leaked plans for the draft. The entire bloodline stays on SmackDown. Cody Rhodes goes to Raw, stays on Raw. Judgment Day goes to SmackDown. Imperium goes to Raw. Austin Theory moves to SmackDown, and Sammy and KO on Raw.
All right, we'll see if that comes true.
There's not much of a difference of what it is now.
Yeah, I mean that's
Not
just
really. It's
basically
just a
swapping.
couple of changes. Just a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
changes.
Like I said, I think the bigger things are going to be that come out of the draft are like Street Profits break up. Montez goes on a singles run. Gable and Otis break up. Gable goes on a singles run. Otis joins Maximum Male Models. I think those are the real bigger stories that we're going to see out of the draft. NXT people they bring up are going to be whoever they bring up. I mean, honestly, I'd assume, like I said, I think Braun, Grayson Waller, a couple of tag teams, and bring up 5 women.
Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bates, he could possibly be brought up. You know, I could see Tyler Bates being brought up. Maybe the Creed brothers.
Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, Roxanne. I mean, she was just a former champion. I could see them bringing her up, although I don't think she'd do well on the main card. She's very
Nikita
small.
Lyons.
The Alliance.
No, Nikita Lyons.
Oh, Nikita Lyons. I mean, honestly, I'd rather see Zoe Stark or Sol Ruka's not ready yet. Ivy Nile, I'd like to see jump up. I think they bring up the whole Diamond Mine. I think that would be pretty cool. If you brought up the entire Diamond Mine, at least you'd add another faction into the main roster. You know, so
Mandy's group. What were they called?
Toxic Attraction.
They just recently broke up, didn't they?
Yeah, they broke up. And honestly, they're not doing well on their own. Like Gigi Dolan is not doing well on her own. What's her face just became the champion via ladder match at Stand and Deliver. The chick that was attached to Dexter Loomis. Why can't I think of it? Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell, yeah, she just became the champ, so she's not going anywhere anytime soon. So, but they need an influx. I think the female division needs the influx more than anything from NXT.
Yeah,
You know,
probably.
So if they're going to do the draft, they might as well figure out a way to fill those voids that they have right now.
Are you
So-
guys on board with this Liv Raquel tag team?
I mean, like, listen, man, the women's tag champs, that championship is the most irrelevant championship on the roster at this point. Like, I love
no
it
good tag teams.
because they don't have any female tag teams. Like, they're just jamming random chicks together and be like, "You're a tag team now. Go win the titles." Like, it's when they started that, they had a bunch of tag teams. They had the Iconics. They had Naomi and Sasha.
Yeah.
Or you had Bailey and Sasha. You know, you had teams that fit organically together. Like, either you had singles that fit organically together, or you had already predetermined teams, right? Now they got nothing, and they're just all over the place. So who fights them next? Ronda and Baszler, like, again for the 900th fucking time? You know, do we get Beth Phoenix comes back to team with Natalia? Because everybody would love to see that over and over again.
Totally.
Bullshit. All right, that brings me.
Oh, it's
So
some bullshit.
The draft kind of brings me to my next topic here. Any returns, acquisitions? We kind of talked about the NXT call-ups or anything that you think that they need to make to bolster this product. Now, Endeavor's there; they got the money, so they can go shopping a little bit here now. So,
Get Vince the fuck out.
besides get Vince fuck out and putting Hunter back in charge.
That's all I got.
But I'm saying, like, what other wrestlers from any other promotions or any returning wrestlers do you think that could come back and really push this product to be better?
Randy Orton. I'm going to say Randy Orton every
Orton
time.
coming back would be huge, man. Orton coming back would be huge. We still don't know the timeline on when that's going to happen.
Big E, maybe. He's not like a game changer, but I feel like a return from Big E would be awesome.
I mean, the right return for him could be a game changer, though. You know,
Yeah.
he was in the mix at the championship level when he got injured, so he can go right back into that slot. You know, you can have a nice feud with Big E versus Roman. You get the New Day versus the Usos back. You know,
Yeah.
By
the way,
I found that for you.
By the way, that
Look where at. Look where at.
Oh, I know.
What's the name?
Do you know that individual?
What am I thinking of? Is it Ezekiel? What the hell? No, what's his name?
Ezekiel from
New Day. Who's the guy from New Day?
Big E.
Not Big E, the other one. Not Kofi, the other one.
Xavier Woods.
Xavier, not Ezekiel. Xavier. That the match he had on SmackDown was awesome. I enjoyed that.
Yes, he had a great match with Gunther. Fantastic match with Gunther.
Yeah. Considering how dominant Gunther is, they went toe to toe, man. It was awesome.
Not mine. I'm trying to see if she's in Duchess or Putnam.
I
Um,
was looking out, dog. Popped up on my thing. I was like, oh.
yeah, the match he had with Gunther was really good. Woods looks good, man. Woods looks really good. Kofi's going to be out for a while with an ankle injury anyway, so you might as well put Woods on a nice little run here. Let him fight for some titles. He's going to be out there solo anyway, so.
Mm-hmm.
But me personally, like we talked about the NXT guys coming up, obviously, those are my picks for that. I think depending on whose contracts are up over at AEW, I think there's a couple of guys that you could fit into a slot here.
Who?
For very specific reasons.
Lay it on us.
If they can get Cesaro back and give us Cesaro versus Gunther.
Why do I feel like you bring him up every other day?
I don't think I remember saying his name maybe once I've said his name in the last few
You
weeks.
said it a few times.
I wouldn't mind Cesaro coming back.
Cesaro versus for the specific thing of going against Gunther alone, I think would be worth whatever they paid him to do it.
Yeah.
They lost Jay White. He went to AEW. You know, the big
Dropped the
rumor
ball on that one.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if we did or not because Jay White, as popular as Jay White is, a lot of people don't know who he is. You know, I don't think his style is really set for the WWE. You know what I mean? He's more set up for AEW. I think a big one would be Kenny Omega. If they can get Kenny Omega over from AEW. And now you have Cody on this side of the ropes. He might be your way into getting a couple, like getting an MJF, getting a Kenny Omega, getting Cesaro back.
MJF loves Cody.
MJF loves Cody.
Like,
Bro, if they can get
Loves.
MJF, that would flip the WWE on its side. They wouldn't know. They wouldn't know how to handle him.
I still don't know if he could adjust to it though.
I think he could, man. I mean, like, listen, he doesn't have to curse to be effective. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty good when he's not cursing too.
It's still a whole like big change because they're allowed blood. Their matches are fucking insane.
Yeah.
Watches and the cussing. I think it would be a hard adjustment period for him.
Yeah, I mean, like, it'd definitely be an adjustment period. I don't know if he'd be as effective at WWE that he is at AEW. I like to think that he's good enough to transition well enough, but it would all depend on how well he transitions over to this side of things. You know, really, there's no one else I could think of outside of AEW where you want to see somebody come over and really, really shake things up. AJ Styles coming back, I think, would be a big bolster to them. But you got to put him in the right.
Yeah, but he's still hurt from his ankle injury.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of guys out that are out hurt right now.
When's Moxley's contract up?
I don't think he'll ever.
I don't think he'll come back. I'm
not sure if he's allowed to come back.
I don't know.
Listen.
Oh, hold on. We can't hear you.
We were able to hear you this entire time with your microphone.
That's actually a fact.
Those are police sirens.
That's actually confirmed. That is actually confirmed, sir.
What?
I think Mox. Like, listen, dude. In all honesty, no one thought Cody was going to be able to come back either, and he did. You know, I think the road for Cody, if we're really doing this, like Cody has to earn the right to fight Roman again. He's got to go through Brock. Who else do you think Cody's got to go through then?
Vince.
Besides Vince. You're right about that. Drew?
I don't know, man.
Maybe?
What?
Did Drew even resign? Did Drew even resign? Randy, if he comes back?
Randy, if he comes back, maybe.
Let's see.
Sheamus, I don't know.
That's the problem that they're running into. Who else are you going to have Cody go through to earn the right to face Roman again? As the captain likes to say, he has to earn it because he hasn't earned anything.
Did you see who was it? Somebody said that he likes Cody losing because he has to earn his way to the title. I forget who it was. I think it was Kevin Nash that said it.
Yeah.
He said he agreed with the outcome of WrestleMania because
a lot of guys have been saying that. A lot of guys have been saying, you know, everybody's kind of like split 50-50 on it. You know, because the moment would have been so big that I think a lot of people are really wish that moment happened. A lot of people in the industry like wish that moment would have happened for Cody. But then also like guys in the business, plus like, listen, Kevin Nash is never going to say anything bad about Hunter. So there's that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
So I don't know. I like it. they're in a lockstep with Cody right now after Brock. So we kind of have to see where this all goes and with the draft and everything like that. Who knows? Maybe Braun Breaker comes up from the draft and right into a feud with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I mean, like a Cody KO feud would be fun, but I don't know how they would fit that in.
Yeah, I mean that would be fun.
Would it be fun?
I think it would be.
So. I think so. I think it would be a lot of fun. Cody versus KO. I just don't think storyline wise right now it doesn't fit.
I'm just trying to think of like who Cody can go up against for a year back up until WrestleMania.
He's got to realistically, he's got to go through, I'd say 3 guys before, because you can go back and forth, with them before going to Roman, right? Brock's one of them.
Yeah. So
it's got to be about 2 more. You do these
drawing blanks, man. I'm drawing blanks on the roster right now.
Because honestly, I don't think there really is anybody else that can go up against Cody.
That's
where it fits in the storyline or fits in a storyline somewhere that makes sense for this.
Almost.
I mean, that might happen whether we like it or not. Doesn't mean it's really good.
Bro.
Don't speak that into
Cody and Montez.
Yeah, but Montez ain't ready for that.
I'm just thinking.
No, I see where you're going with it, but it's just one of those things. So we're kind of left in the weeds at this point. Hopefully, Hunter, when he came out and said the draft is going to change everything, hopefully the draft's actually going to change something this time around.
I know. That's what I'm afraid of. That they're claiming that this big, massive shift in the business is happening, and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait and see. Fellas, I think that's all I have for tonight. You guys got anything else?
No. I think we good.
Solid episode then, gentlemen.
Solid.
Thank you, everybody out there, for riding along with us. We'll be back next week with some more, maybe some draft predictions, stuff like that. Love you guys all. Thank you guys all for watching.
Is the draft actually this Friday coming up?
Yeah, 28th.
Okay. So the next episode is going to be the results of the draft then, isn't it?
We could do that. We could wait. Well, we're only going to get half the draft. Because they draft on Friday and Monday.
Friday and Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I need to watch next Tuesday because I can't watch it.
Can't watch it live?
Yeah, but then if we do something on like Wednesday, on Saturday, we're doing the watch party. The following Saturday after, we're doing the watch party.
We'll figure it out.
Hey, our viewers and listeners, we'll figure that out off air instead of boring you guys with
boring you guys with our scheduling conflicts.
We love you guys figuring our scheduling conflicts. Make sure you guys like, follow, and subscribe. Everything on GGen. Hit us with some comments. Make sure you're sharing us. Let everybody know about us.
Thanks for hanging out. If you came over on the raid,
thank you guys for coming over on the raid and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Tell your friends, family, coworkers, the world. Shout it out from the rooftops. GGen's where it's got to be. Like, follow, and subscribe. Everything. We got some stuff coming up your way. But other than that, Oversell's out. I'm your man Zuplex. I'm here with Scythe S and One Shot. We are out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Love you guys all. Deuces.
Later.